I can't see the comments. I don't know who's coming into the room, but let me do it, Sue. Let me do it right now. Okay, and then I'm going to give it over to you. And I'm going to remove you that way. All right. And I'm going to even do this right here. All right. Now, it's my world. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Soul Fulfilling. Hey, yeah, I can see you now, Gwen. Hey, Barbara. Hey. Thank you both for all those kind words that you're leaving. Hey, Mina Weezy. Hey, come on into the room. People are loading into the room. Wow, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. And I'm choosing love today. And I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing love today. I choose compassion. I choose compassion today. What are you choosing? I choose compassion today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I choose compassion today. Hey, Sean, come on in the room, y'all. Let me know you're here so I can give you a good old dose of love. Oh, I'm choosing kindness today. Hey, Max, I'm choosing kindness today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, and I'm choosing kindness today. And I'm choosing joy today. Throughout all this rain, I'm choosing joy today. Through the snow, I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing joy today. And I'm choosing spirit today. Hey, Reverend Cheryl, choosing spirit today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, and I'm choosing spirit today. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. Hey, Edith, I am walking the road of heaven right now, and I'm choosing heaven today. Hey, McCowan, I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven right now. Man, I got a good karma this time that I can choose heaven. I don't know that everybody knows that they can. I don't know if everybody knows that this microphone keeps going this way. It's kind of like you make your mind, you want your mind to go this way, and it keeps going back to that same old pattern. And you go like, no, that's not what we're doing. We're doing this. Oh, hey, guess what? I had to change it from the source, and then it stuck. Uh-oh, yeah. There it is. Yes. I just want to make sure the ancestors are not in the room again. Doing funny things again. Let's see who's coming on with us right now. Hey, Janice Morrell. My wings were heavy, I could not fly, haunted by dreams that were meant to come true. love was there. I couldn't see it, so the voice of salvation came shining through you, and you said that God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. Yes. God is all there is. I'm going to do this right here. Turn that up a little bit. Maybe that, that helps me a lot. And I got to do one more thing. Hope I don't kill everything. Is everything still good? Yeah, all right. So this evening, I want to welcome everybody into Soul Fulfilling. I have a beautiful, beautiful guest with me tonight. I invited her because I'm very inspired by her work and her work in the world. I was inspired by her long before she wrote her book. I was inspired by her and her husband, Ron Threatt, when he was alive back in the day, and I'd see them at various conferences and at Agape, and I would just see them all over the place. They were a beautiful couple, and her name is Emily Thiroux Threatt, and Emily would eventually show up at Soul Sisters Retreat and become very much a part of Soul Sisters, and then she would go on and matriculate through her life and facing the things that she faced in life that would eventually lead to her authoring a fantastic work that is about grief and recovery and how to make your way through grief, loving and living your way through grief. She wrote a book that is a comprehensive guide to reclaiming and cultivating joy and carrying on in the face of loss. And these days, with so much going on, I think this is a good message. I think it's a good something for us to talk about this evening. This is a new year, and so much is upon us. What is that? Did you hear that? That must be the ancestors.
Could be.
But right there, that's Emily. So welcome to Soul Fulfilling. Emily.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, yeah. You're wonderful and a wonderful addition tonight. Thank you for making the time out there in Hawaii. And y'all come on into the room. Feel my arms around you. Feel our arms around you. Sheena and Quinn. Hi, Quinn. Got to have you back on again. And I always said, Mina and everybody else coming on, and Art, thank you. God is all there is, and God is all there will ever be. But sometimes our present moment is not so full of that knowing, and it's full of other things. And we have somebody with us this evening to help us learn to be present, to be here, and to be all right. Right?
That's right.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Emily, about your journey and how you got to the point of writing your book.
Thank you first for having me here. I love being in your presence and love your music and everything about you. And I started writing when I was very young, and I've taught writing for years at the university. And I've had two wonderful husbands who both died, both transitioned of the same thing. Didn't know the second one was going to have the same thing, but that's the way it worked out. So I learned lots of lessons along my way. And I found that when I would deal with my feelings, I could do it really well in writing. I was just writing for myself. trying to figure things out, because when I'd let things just kind of bounce around in my head, I never got any place with them. They just kept bouncing around in my head. But when you start writing things out, it's easier to deal with them and see what you want to deal with and what you want to work on. And I saw that that was doing so much good for me that I thought it'd do some good for other people who were dealing with grief too. So I started teaching writing through grief online, which led to the creation of the Grief and Happiness Alliance, which is a group that I facilitate that meets every week, where we do writing together and talk about it, and then we do happiness practices. And I think that that's what makes what I do a lot different than what other people do with grief, is I really focus on that you can be happy and grieve at the same time.
Because I was happy today, even though I was cleaning out my basement. And I had a flood again. My basement flooded again with all the rain in LA. And it might seem like a shallow thing, but it's not quite so shallow. Because in the basement is a lot of stuff. It's like agape choir stuff. There are programs. There are postcards of fabulous events that we did. There are pictures. There's sheet music. There's just so much stuff there. And some stuff got wet. You know, it just got wet, and I needed to throw it away. You know, but I was like, I'm throwing my life away again. You know, and I was down there with people that were pumping the water out, and they're figuring on a way. They were putting in a unit so that it wouldn't flood anymore, and they were doing that. But after they were done, I was still taking stuff upstairs, and I wanted to release the stuff. But I was looking at the stuff. I was looking at it, and I had one postcard that said 2930. It was a postcard from an event we did a concert called 2930. It was the choir's 29th year and my 30th year of being at Agape, and I felt like it needed to be celebrated. So I threw a party. And Tim McAfee Lewis came forward, Nikki Harris came. They all flew in town for this celebration, and it was done on a Wednesday night, and we all wore our shirts, and there was a postcard that was done, and on the back of that postcard, Greta Tsuchida had put all the events that we had done in the whole 29 years of being in the choir, like, you know, the Democratic National Convention, the UN, all the different things we'd done. And it was a lot of things. There was, and on the other side was all the songs. And it was like, at that time, the songs were numbered about 170 songs. It's way more than that now. But it was just like, and I pick up this postcard, and everything's there again. And I thought I had let it go, but I was there again. And I said to my nephew, I said, I gotta throw my life away again. But it wasn't throwing my life away, but it was just like, I gotta throw away these physical things that do not define who I am.
That's right.
The Spirit defines who I am. And I know when Ron passed, your second husband, and I'm saying your second husband, the last husband. So me, I had more than two. But two are gone. But anyway, when Ronald, your husband, you guys left Ventura. I remember that, and you moved to Hawaii, right?
That's right.
And then was there a fire in Ventura?
Yeah, we had fires there. Right now they're having flooding there. All kinds of things have happened there. So things look different than they did when I was there.
Yeah, but when you moved from there to Hawaii, did you feel like you were leaving a whole lot of stuff behind?
Oh, I was. We had our house in Ventura was probably twice as big as the houses I have here. And it was full of stuff that from when we combined our lives, we brought stuff with us. And so in order to be able to move, we had to take everything across the ocean. And it's expensive to do, and it's a lot of work. And we just kept releasing and releasing and releasing. And he was critically ill at the time that we were in the process of packing. So he was kind of watching and as I was doing, and friends came over, fortunately, and helped us. But we had a giant garage sale after I'd given tons of stuff away, where we made over $3,000 at a garage sale. So you can imagine how big the garage sale was with the prices we charge for garage sales. And it just seemed like we gave away so much. And as I was giving away, I realized I was feeling lighter and lighter and lighter.
Yeah.
So that when we got here, it took about another 6 weeks after we got here before we got our stuff. So we were here in an empty house, and we got a blow-up mattress from Costco, and we borrowed 2 chairs and a table from a friend, and that's all we had in the house. And I had mailed a lot of stuff, like kitchen stuff, so I could cook for us, but the mail didn't get there until after the ship got there. So it was very primitive, and it was quite wonderful to be in a beautiful place and not be confined by stuff, the stuff that had surrounded us. It was a real shift in everything when we realized that. We ended up, when we started unpacking the stuff from the container, we gave more and more of it away because we realized it was stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the memories are still with me. You know, I can have memories of all the beautiful things and wonderful things that happened in our lives, but I don't have to hang on to material things.
Yeah. So I'm ready. Then I'm ready to let go of the clothes in my closet.
Mm-hmm.
I have beautiful clothes, and they're ceremonial, and some of them, like my big skirts, I'm holding on to those. I like my big skirts, but I got a lot of things that represent an era.
Mm-hmm.
They do. They represent a time, and I can look at those things, and they're beautiful designs. And I thought of opening up a store one day, maybe, and sell them at the store. You know, I'm not opening up no store. I'm opening up my garage for a garage sale. But you know, like you said the more you gave away, the better you felt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, today, after I threw away, you know, or repurposed the stuff, because I put it in the recyclable bin or the compost or whatever, you know, I was through it, you know, but there's so much more. And I thought I had given away a whole lot of stuff. And sometimes grief is sometimes we're not dealing with material things. Sometimes we're dealing with loved ones. And you go like, wow, I just had to say goodbye to one person, and then, wow, then this person is going. And a lot of people have been saying goodbye to people who were very dear in their heart. And your work is about helping them to let go.
Mm-hmm.
And showing them without showing them. Emily is very good at what she does. It happens without her going like, well, first we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But you said something when you said the pen on paper, you know, when, you know, like you get people to write it down, and when they begin to write, something else happens. There's something powerful about writing. Even if you're starting a business, Mark Victor Hansen taught me this once in a workshop that I took. I knew nothing about how to start my own business. Even though I had tried to do business, you know, I tried to do my business, but it wasn't really business. You know, it was business. But he said, you know, if you think it, ink it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an idea, write it down. Because when you write it down, it does begin to take form. Now, one day you might, after everything has been totally realized, totally fulfilled, you'll be at the other side of that where you have to give that away. You know, but at some point, you have to begin. You know, this is life, and it's about beginnings. It's beginnings, and you let go, and then then you embrace. We let go, and then we're embracing new stuff. But you got new stuff, new people, new new opportunities, new life, new life. So whatever we're doing, if we can find that way, and Emily guides us through a writing process. Talk about it a little bit, Emily.
There's so much you can do with writing. When you learn something, like you take a class and you think, oh, this is a really good class, I'm going to use all this information. And the next day you've lost at least 80% of what you had in that class, what you heard in that class. It doesn't stick. Mm-hmm. But when you write things down, it sticks. Mm-hmm. And you can use it as you go along. So I could do things like, what helped me when I was writing my book. Each book or each chapter was on something different. So I would write down what each one of the chapters would be about. And I would write experiences and thoughts and things that I could use whenever they came to me, and just put it where it belonged. And you can do the same sort of thing with your journaling. You were mentioning losing lots of people, and we all get to an age where that kind of happens. And I'm the young one in my family. Mm-hmm. So my parents are gone, my sister's gone, almost all of my cousins are gone. And so I don't have them to recall memories and things with anymore. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's whatever I want to pass on, I want to write down, so that anybody who wants to know about it or could benefit from the experience would be able to read it.
Yeah, but Emily, suppose you're like me, that I got books and books and books. I got journals. And I was looking at this stuff. I was like, if I'm gone, people are going to have to, well, maybe they might enjoy reading this stuff, huh?
They might. And I have a huge pile of actually shelves full of journals that I have filled up. Yeah. And they served their purpose at the time that I was writing them.
Yeah.
It allowed me to get out of my head and onto the paper, whatever it was that I was dealing with. Yeah. As I was mentioning before, dealing with something when you're just trying to deal with it in your head doesn't work real well. It can haunt you, actually, for a long time, where you can actually look at it if you put it on paper. Mm-hmm. And so I do that. And I've been thinking I'm going to have a big bonfire and get rid of a lot of those journals, because it's not necessarily anything anybody else needs to read. It served its purpose by helping me at the time that I did it.
You said the magic word. It served its purpose at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was reading a journal from 1985 when my Uncle Walter died. And I'm talking about, I'll miss my Uncle Walter with my Uncle George. I mean, I'm reading all this, and I write right into 1997. I mean, this journal covers a big portion, lots of years, and it served me well. And some of the writing is exquisite. I mean, it's poetry, So I'm looking at it, I'm going like, girl, you were writing when you were 46. So I think that we will all be the judge of what we need to keep and what we need to let go of, but we just know to keep it fluid, though,
Yes.
Keep it moving. I'm going to sing a song about that.
Cool.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. Now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release what? And I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. go of all those clothes. All those clothes, Quinn. I'm letting go of those clothes. Maybe I can sell some of those clothes. And I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here to love. No more struggle. No more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Your turn. I release. Let me hear you.
And I let go.
I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No, 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 no more struggle. No more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, yes.
Rickie, I got to tell you, one day Ron and I were listening to you sing that song, and he turned around and looked at me and he goes, "That's a song for my funeral, because that's what I'm doing." And so many of your songs have guided my life and our life together. That I've memorized so many of them. They're in my head, you know. They just come from repetition because we've heard them or sung them so often, and they're such guidance to my life. So your writing is helping guide my life, like my writing helps other people. And
Yes.
I thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Oh, you are welcome. Look at what Kathleen said. Journaling offers us a safe and sacred place for our grief to land while our hearts heal from the perceived loss as our heart heals and expands in love.
That's right.
Perceived loss, because it is like, it's all perception.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all perception, and it's all happening here, in here. You know, but the good thing is that we each got our journeys. Not everybody's going to walk through it the same way, you know. And even if you take a class with Emily, or you take a class or a workshop or something, some kind of process, you will always do it your way, because it's your road. It's your road. And maybe your way might be to dance it out. You know, it might be to dance it out. It might be to move, you know. Emily is a writer. And so, of course, she's doing writing. I was a singer. Of course, I was doing singing. You know, we sing it out. And I think that's what's really magnificent about a gift, is that we come to deliver it to the world and to inspire others with that gift, or encourage others toward their own personal liberation through our gifts. It's so beautiful how you've done that. You know, and now now the Ignite Forgiveness, that's the new collection. Is that an anthology of writers?
They call it a compilation. There are 27 different authors, and we each wrote a 10-page chapter in it about our situation with forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty powerful book. It became an international bestseller the first weekend it came out. So it's doing very well. And I've got another book that's going to be coming out in March.
Come on, now you're on a roll, baby. Now,
yeah.
The one on March, is it a collection also? A compilation?
No, it's mine. When I wrote Loving and Living Your Way Through Grief, I did it because I had a friend, actually a really good friend of Ron's. His name was Chappie, and he was a lot younger than Ron, and we were family friends, and he always called Ron Dad. The difference in age was that much. And about 7 months after Ron died, he just dropped dead with
Chappie?
no warning. Chappie did.
Oh.
And it was a shock for everybody, but I was very concerned for his wife because she was so young and had no idea that she was going to be in a position with her 2 daughters and Chap gone. And so I started writing to her, and I wrote her the first year, I wrote her something every week. And so that was 52 times, and each time it was on a different subject. And I thought, I've got an outline here. So I wrote the book, and it was 52 chapters. And when my publisher signed the contract, they signed it for the number of words that were in those 52 chapters. But when the editor got a hold of it, she said, we can't publish something this long. We have to cut it like in half. Do you want to cut it, or do you want us to? And I said, no, it's all important. So we published the first 26 chapters in Loving and Living Your Way Through Grief. And this is the other 26 chapters. And we're doing it.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it's really neat. We're doing it a little bit differently this time because we've got the Grief and Happiness Alliance going now. And we have the Grief and Happiness Alliance nonprofit association, or organization rather, that provides the funding for that, because we don't want to have people have to pay to come for the classes and for the help. And so they cover the expenses as a gift to the people who want to take advantage of it. And I said, why don't we just publish this other half as a Grief and Happiness Handbook? And I'm adding even more into it with things you can do, because in this book, at the end of each chapter, there's something you can do, but there's going to be even more that you can do with each chapter in this new book that's coming out.
And for those of you who may have come in a little later, the Grief and Happiness Alliance meets weekly on Zoom to write together and do happiness practices, all at no charge. It's like her own little bee hood. She's got a little writing bee hood over there happening over there in Hawaii. The Grief and Happiness, but you don't have to be in Hawaii. You can
take
on Zoom.
Yeah, people from England and New Zealand and Canada. They come from all over different places.
Yeah, and
it's after the bee hood, so that we don't compete. It's on Sundays, but it's after the bee hood is done.
That's right, because you're Hawaii time. This is 3 hours behind. So and they can find all this information on your website.
So on my website, or they can go to griefandhappiness.com, and the information is there.
That's what. Griefandhappiness.com. Y'all got that? And you can find out all about the weekly podcast. Also, she's got a podcast. I was on one of her podcasts. Oh my God. That's got to be the funniest podcast.
We had a good time.
I moved to every room in this house trying to get away from that gardener.
It was pretty funny.
But I was listening to a podcast, and I was like, oh my God. I was listening to your podcast about the new year and about some things to do, and it was such a beautiful short podcast that you've done, but it was so much like I do what I do. And I had written my stuff, and I'm going like, oh my God, we're quoting each other here. But those of you who didn't get my newsletter, it came out yesterday. It was published yesterday. And if you didn't get my newsletter and you want it this time, I will send it to you. You just come to go to rickiebyars@gmail.com, and I will send it to you, because it's already been published, and they're not going to republish it to 5,000 people just to pick up a few names. They're not doing that, But if you hit me up, I'll send it to you. I'll forward it to you. Okay, I'll forward it. The new one. But why was I talking about that?
About the type of writing you were doing with the new year, your process.
Oh yes. So there is a little message from me in the newsletter about things that I'm doing, and so I'm just saying, hey, why don't you try to do it? And like what you were. I love your process, because it's such a creative process that I can recognize. When you said, well, I already, you just start doing it, and it becomes something. It becomes something. If you think you can't do something and you don't even try, it never becomes anything. So,
yeah.
It just won't, so we must think highly of ourselves. That's what I'm talking about in terms of in these critical times that we're living in now. More than ever, we can't think lowly about ourselves. We got to think, we have to do our inner work and touch that divine place inside of us and to live from that and to see from that purview. And we can deal with what's happening on the ground in real life terms, like Emily did, like I did, like many on this thread did. I see Janice is here, and she took care of her sister for many years. She's talking about it here. When my sister made her transition a few months ago, she knew I was having a difficult time with her unexpected passing, and she advised me to create a journal in which I could communicate with her in and through writing. This gives me great comfort. She did something. She took a step. She took a step in the direction of her heart. In the direction of her heart. She wanted to connect. She wanted to connect. When I want to connect, I sit down at the piano. I usually don't start out with much, but eventually it becomes something magnificent because that's my gift. But in writing that passage on the newsletter, it was like, learn something new. I want to learn something new every day. And doing that newsletter, I am, because I have to learn how to do a lot of things in order to fulfill what I'm supposed to do for the webmaster. Because these young people ain't playing. They're younger than me. They expect me to know how to do this Google Drive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we work around it until we find it. But you just keep doing to learn something new every day. That it's like, hey, learn something new. If you have something, that a family needs help with, just a little monetary gift, and you can give it, share it. You don't enable the family. You're helping that mother. Remember how great it felt when somebody helped you when you needed help. It's like just sometimes, and we can outthink it. We can overthink it, and go like, well, I don't have that much. Well, what's in your house? What is it that you have to give that you could share, right now? Everybody's got something. And if you don't have something material, you got prayer. You can write it down. You can see them surrounded in light. You can write that down. You can help them by holding them in prayer. Something, and I forgot the other things, but it was pretty good. And one of them was like host some kind of gathering in your home, and you're doing that, Emily.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yes.
What you should tell me about that.
Well, I started out teaching people to write because we had been here for 2 years before Ron transitioned. And when I came up with this idea to do the teaching people how to write, I was trying to figure out who I was going to teach because I didn't know that many people. I'd been spending all my time with him and his care and everything that was going on. So I went on Meetup and put something and said, I'd like to teach you how to write to deal with your grief. Come on over to my house. And they did. I made a lot of new friends here on Maui because there were so many people that were dealing with so many different kinds of loss. And it was so wonderful to gather and have them. It was before the pandemic, obviously, but we could be in a space together and help carry each other through the process. Like Ram Dass always says, walking each other home. And that's what the kind of thing that we were doing, and finding things to do that. And I've also found with one of my friends came just like I did. She came to Maui with her husband, and he died shortly after, and he died just a little bit before Ron did, and I met her after that. So we got to the point where we decided that we needed to not sit in the house. We have started going out to so many different things, going to concerts and going to classes and different things. And it's so good to be able to be in the world, because we tend to retreat in grief and not be around anybody else. But it's important to remember that you're still here.
Even during an era that has been termed a pandemic era. I call it the co-dividus. It's like that people are just afraid to go out. Some people, they won't go out at all. And and they're afraid they're going to catch something. I was like, y'all just need to get you some grandma's tonic and go on to that concert, baby. Get your grandma's tonic and go on to the concert. But we walking each other home. I love that. I love the terminology. That's kind of like what we're doing right here in Soul Fulfilling. We're here together to feel each other's presence and, you know, just to feel this wave of love. There's so much in the world that says, don't do this. Don't do that. Don't be with this person. Don't eat that food. Don't. You know, right here it's like a deep breath in and a knowing and acceptance that God is who we are. God and this intelligence that informs us, will inform us, is informing us as we learn to listen and to lean into it and to really enjoy this incarnation with all of its lessons that we came to remember. We'll say, before I had a dream or a lesson to remember, the Spirit gently held the song inside of me.
Oh, wow.
So I sing a song of joy. I sing a song of knowing that all is truly well and that heaven is at hand. It's like, regardless of the water, regardless of the stuff I got to give away, regardless of the this that didn't last, regardless of the people who have passed, it's like, oh my gosh, including all of that. I don't even have to say regarding them and more, God is. There's this, yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you're on this thread, you know. Baptiste Jean says, "Welcome, Rickie. Thanks. We appreciate that you invited Emily, the special woman. Keep working, unstoppable woman." He calls you an unstoppable woman. Happy New Year with your family and your friends. He's in Africa. We are with you. Remember, happy birthday for your mom. Happy birthday, Mama Byars. We had a great celebration of my mother's birthday. I don't know if you watched the devotional from Sunday, but it's off the chain.
So good.
It was so good. And I was sharing with Emily before we started the program, was that after that devotional, and I came home, I had to leave shortly after that and go to this beautiful restaurant called Olak for the birthday celebration of Chief Rashid. Not Rashid, but Chief Rashid. Chief Rashid. Oh, I forgot to send. Well, never mind. Forget. Anyway, moving right along. Chief Rashid had a gift that was delivered to my house once I got home after that event was done. At around 10 that night, this beautiful person that's part of that tribe, that nation of people, the Yamasee Nation out there, they brought this beautiful gift. It's a beautiful, very long kente cloth, and it's got this beautiful feather from the clan mother who had passed. So from clan mother Rochelle, she delivered that she wanted this gift to go to my mom. So this was given to me on my mother's birthday, this beautiful feather. This is a powerful feather coming from indigenous people who are related to me. And this beautiful kente cloth from Africa. And so, Mom, this is for you. But it was given to me, so I'll put it on my altar with other feathers that have been given to me by powerful chiefs. I'm thankful. But you know, that was a good celebration for my mother, and but it was really more than a celebration for my mother. It was a celebration of community. It was a celebration of love, and it was also, in its own way, like a little rites of passage, because now we get to be the people who are where my mom was. Like when you met my mother, Emily, the first time, I don't know if the first time was at Soul Sisters,
It was.
but at that time, she was a little younger than I am now.
Mm.
Isn't that
Wow.
Isn't
She
that
was
interesting?
amazing. Just amazing. I got so much from her. I actually quoted her in my book. I don't know if you have seen that yet, but it's in there. She had such a spirit that it absolutely didn't matter anything that happened in life. She was living it full out
Oh yeah.
the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Such an inspiration.
What do you think that comes from? Do you think you're born with that?
Somewhat. Part born and part inspiration and part will. She wanted to experience it all. She wanted to have her best life.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, about the people who are able to do that. I think, sometimes that word karma really says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times red flags go off with people and they go like, ah, nah, 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 But karma is an interesting thing to me, because what it means to me. Blessings, Brother Christwell. I see you're in the house, and Andrea Lotus. Come on in, y'all. It's like, it's given me, now that I'm older, or maybe just wiser, or I don't know. I don't know what the word is. There's something in me that's becoming more aware of God, of the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And becoming more aware has allowed me to accept that myself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somebody on the thread might go like, well, how can she not accept herself? She's really cool. Or maybe not.
You are.
No, you are cool, Emily. But it's like, we all have that little voice in the head sometimes that's digging. And if you find yourself in a hole, if you dug yourself into a hole, the first thing you want to do is stop digging. The first thing, if you're in a hole, you want to stop digging. If you're going down, if you're sad, if things are not working out for you, the first thing you want to do is just stop digging, stop beating up on yourself, and then I don't know. After so many years of dedicated practice of writing and wanting to be a better person, I think one day we get that, you know what? I am a better person.
You are a better person. That's right.
Yeah, I'm a better person. And kind of just breathe that in and just be that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not anything you do after that, because everything you do will be better because you are better. Because you are more real inside of yourself. You're more real. God is more real to you. The spirit, the love, or whatever that G word means for you. I don't have a problem saying God. God is good. I'll say God all day long. But, it's a pure, loving intelligence. It's the creator. And I just got so much gratitude. I'm just thankful.
Yes. I think a lot with me, especially after Ron transitioned, I found that there were a couple things that really changed my life. And that was to get in touch with myself. First was a practice of gratitude, and I do that constantly. But then when I released judgment of anybody or anything, and when I forgave anybody, that, including myself, who needed to be forgiven for me, all that went away. I am so open now in a way I've never been before. I'm happier than I've ever been. People say, how can you have two husbands die? How can you be happy? But I am happier than I ever have been. And I'm really leading my best life when I'm free of judgment. Everything's forgiven, and I am so grateful.
Ah, I hear a song coming on.
Good.
A little bit of it. Grateful, I am grateful to be grateful in my soul. I'm gonna do another song. Yeah, I'm gonna do a medley of grateful songs. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. Said I'm thankful, thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender. I surrender. I trust in God. I remember. I remember. I am one in the spirit all around me. I remember. I remember. I trust in God. And I'm thankful, grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. Said I trust in God. I trust in God. Tell me, do you trust in God? Trust in love. Trust in peace. Trust in truth. Trust in kindness. Trust in God. I trust in God. Trust in God. Great song.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. That song can be found on the Blessed Always Chant Anthology, which is now available on YouTube in digital form. It's available. The lyrics are there. So if you go to Blessed Always Agape Chant Anthology, we've loaded in all. My nephew Jamon, he did it. He did it. Here's a shout out to Jamon. The lyrics, the sheet music, and the Agape Congregational Choir. I called it the Congregational Choir because I just invited anybody that was in the congregation to come and sing along, and they did. You know, they did. They came and sang along, and it sounds great. Everybody sounded so good. There was something that was just so special, and still is, about the sound of people in the room singing. You know, in the B-Hood, we have some very accomplished singers that sing there. You know, they can sing. I mean, come on, Georgia and Muldrow, come on. Georgia's so bad. You know, Georgia, Reese, Whitaker, Naila Porter. Oh my God, she's amazing. Safia Baidi, and other singers who have been with us, like Ayanna Stokes and Dorothy James and all of them, and Thea Austin. I mean, just great singers. And then you got the folks in the room. Sometimes when we're singing, like on Sunday, I was like, no singers at the microphone, just the people in the room. And the sound of the people in the room is so inspiring because it is the community without microphone. You know, it's just everybody singing together, and you just hear the love, the frequency of love that's right there in the vibration of those voices. And there's just nothing like love to heal us, to bring us together, to help us restore and return, to return. I'm thankful you joined me tonight, Emily. I'm thankful for everybody who's been with us tonight. It's been so good. There's so much. We got to have Emily back again. Her work of keeping a happy heart as we move through this world. What's something that you tell yourself when you're right in the thick of something? Like you had a really bad windstorm there not too long ago. Listen, she lives in Hawaii. So she, somebody was like, yeah, if I lived in Hawaii, I'd be happy too, Who gonna be sad in Hawaii? Say that if you're in Buffalo, New York. And we're still praying as people in Buffalo are being discovered in that snow. It was a terrible snowstorm there. And there's lots of stuff going on right now. Stuff happening in California, all over the world. But right where we are, we're called to be here now. And if you're called to go and help somebody in a snowstorm and you want to fly there, that is your journey. You do it. You do when the Spirit is guiding your life, then that is yours to do. But you go inside and check deep inside and find out, what is it? What is it that yours to do? What's yours to do? And do it. Yeah, because Emily found her mission. Her mission is to comfort and support those dealing with grief and loss by focusing on happiness. Last words, Emily?
I'm so grateful to be with you always. You are such a special person in my life, and you bring out the best in me and inspire me all the time. So I'm very happy to be here with you. Come back. I'll come back anytime you want.
Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you, everybody who's on the thread tonight. Thank you all for dialing in, and thank you for your comments. Thank you, Reverend Cheryl. Welcome to the Soul Fulfilling. Welcome back, because you've been here before, but welcome back. And everybody, this week, as you continue through your week, let's just hold each other high. And remember to be fully present right where we are. To be here. To be now. To be loving. To be you. To be that opening through which the Holy Spirit just rushes through. Loving you so much. We just give thanks right here and right now for this wonderful incarnation we got this time. And don't waste a moment. Don't waste a moment of it. It's time to celebrate. God bless you. Who's making his way back to Africa next week. that we rest in God and say amen. Rest in God.